What's up, everybody? I'm here in Southern California again at the Vision Miner headquarters, and we are in the 3D scanning studio. This is Rob, and this is the Edge of Tech. Hey, Rob, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing, Jim?
I'm doing great. We have been filming all day, and I'm super excited because he's finally going to show me his 3D scanner and probably scan me today, right?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about scanning and what you guys use scanning at Vision Miner for.
So this is the studio where we do a lot of the scanning. We do a lot of scanning in-house for ourselves, but we also do consultations and live demos and everything right here. Nice. So if you are considering a professional 3D scanner and you're like, I want to see it do what I'm going to use it for, then you can send us a part, or we can pick something random around, or we can even bring a car in and scan exactly what you're going to do so that you know that you're getting the right piece of equipment. And that way, we don't have to worry about it either. Really, it's for my own peace of mind that you're buying an expensive tool that's actually going to get the job done. So this is right where we do it all. This is where the magic happens.
And you have several scanners here. They have a ton of scanners ranging from, like, I would say kind of consumer-ish, like, you know, all the way up to crazy. And what's cool about the stuff that I've seen today and what we're going to show you is that it's like so fast. It's like almost real time.
Yeah.
And you get so much data. Can you tell, like, if you haven't heard about 3D scanning, what is it? How does it work?
So 3D scanners really generally use two cameras to capture light reflected off of an object. Now that light can be structured patterned light from a projector, or it can be infrared light, or it can be blue lasers. There's a variety of different types. Even LiDAR, most people's phones now have LiDAR.
Sure.
Which is generally...
I think the Apple phones have
exactly.
LiDAR.
Yeah, it's usually lower resolution, better for large objects, and you don't get great detail, and so that's where our scanners come in, because we go all the way down to an accuracy level of 0.02 millimeters, which is 20 micron accuracy.
Oh, wow.
The FreeScan Combo and Trio can actually scan down to 0.01 millimeters, so 10 micron details. So earlier we were using the FreeScan Combo to scan the helicopter part, right? So you saw how fast that was. We can demonstrate that again if we want real quick, show some of the lasers. But really today, I wanted to scan you in full color at rapid speed with the
That's gonna be awesome.
H2.
The Einscan H2, this is a Shining 3D scanner.
Shining 3D, we're one of their diamond resellers. We're the top level reseller. We've been doing it for like 5 years. And the main reason I think we've been so successful is we not only create content and put it out for free on YouTube on how to use these scanners and workflows for all different kinds of objects, but we support all our customers. So we're not like every major reseller where, you buy it from us, we'll ship you a box, we take our cut and we say, hey, you need help, go to the manufacturer. No, we really take every customer relationship seriously and make sure that you get what you need, you've got everything, and if you have any troubles, you give us a call. Literally pick up your phone and answer it, which is another thing a lot of companies don't do anymore.
That's true.
But we're all about relationships and actually, making long-term customers and getting those referrals and whatnot.
So you teach them how to use it, and you support them when they need to know more about how to use it, essentially. If something happens, it doesn't connect, it's not scanning, they can call you. They don't have to call, the company, any company really, what you do. And it's not something you make in-house. So you don't have an obligation to do that, but you do it because that's what your business model is. You guys are here for the users, you're here for the customers. And if they buy the tool and you help them pick out the right tool, I mean, they're gonna love it anyway. So.
And that's a huge part of it. Most of the calls we get are like, look, I watched 20 of your videos and I'm just deciding between these two scanners, which one's actually better for me? And so we go through a lot of questions, and 90% of the time we do a live demo, and we can demo for the whole team or whatever, so that everybody feels at peace and good, that they're getting the right thing, not just the best one or the most expensive one or whatever. And we don't do any pushy sales. We just answer. We're here to make sure you get the right thing.
Awesome. So I think we should take the scanner, and can you walk us through the process?
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
All right, well, you just got to plug in the scanner. So we've got the USB and the power supply, which is on this really cool barrel connector.
Okay.
So it's really nice, solid connection.
And in this scanner, it's all one, it's two cables, but it's all in one. Okay.
All in one cable, and you get about 10 feet or 3 meters or so. So it's good enough to get around most of a car, all the way around a person, that sort of thing. This is actually really good for cars too. If you have like decals and stuff you want, really good for large objects.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. That's cool.
And the infrared mode, you don't need markers. So come right over here, and in the software, for scanning a person, I'm gonna do infrared mode.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make a new project under the right folder called Gym Scan 2. I'm going to do portrait instead of object.
Okay.
And that'll give me the option for features or texture, which is color.
Okay.
In scanning, texture is color. And then hybrid, which is it uses both. So it uses the geometry and the color to track.
Awesome.
And then we're going to do 1 millimeter because we're going to shrink this down into a miniature.
Sure.
So 1 millimeter is going to be like 1/10 of a millimeter by the time we're done with it. And texture scan is on, so I'll just hit apply.
Awesome.
And now we can set our working distance if we want. Sometimes I like going out a little bit bigger than it is by default. And I like to use the data quality indicator.
Okay.
Because that's going to show me as I'm scanning what areas I've acquired the right amount of data and what
Sure.
areas I need to acquire more data on.
Okay. And I have a lot of data.
There's a lot of data, so yeah, it's the best kind of data. So
right.
you'll basically assume a comfortable position.
Sure.
You can just stand there.
Maybe
you can
like
cross your arms.
something
is
like right
sometimes
here?
good. Yeah, just be
work?
comfortable.
Am I good with the cable?
stance
Okay.
of edge? Do you ever cross your arms? Would that be a good power
Should we?
stance?
Should we?
Something like that. It's sometimes just easier. And yeah, so
Lindsay's laughing. Maybe not this one. I don't know.
whatever's comfortable. Yeah, do something crazy. Just remember you'll have to hold it for 2 to 5 minutes. So,
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So if I'm gonna be a standing mini, how about just like a good old
Perfect.
stand? Like I'll just stand.
Awesome. So I've got my basic settings set up. That's really all I have to do. When scanning people too, what I want to make sure is I don't go over like your face more than 2 or 3 times, because even though you're standing still, as you breathe, as you shift weight slightly, muscles do things,
Sure.
and you're actually moving like a centimeter at the top. Your feet are staying planted.
Yeah.
Those won't move much, but it's incredible
But
how
I
much.
can move a lot. Okay.
Yeah, like unexpectedly we sway a lot.
Sure.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on your face, capture all that data really good once,
Okay.
and then I'm going to go to your shoulders, go to your back, go to your forward, everything else, and go all the way down.
Sounds good.
So
Let's do it.
all I got to do is hit the start button on the back of the scanner. So here we go. Preview mode and capturing. Then we go up to the top of the head. And hair with 3D scanners is a really challenging thing for a lot of scanners, because hair is black and usually shiny, or it's dark, it's not reflecting a ton of light. So the infrared on this scanner makes it much, much easier to capture hair because it's reflecting the infrared light as opposed to the visible spectrum. Okay, make sure to get that. And I can actually scan from farther away. It's pretty interesting. Okay, so now I'm going to come around to your front, capture your shoulders and whatnot in there. And you see the data's all red, so I'm just going to spend a little more time on it there and watch it turn green. That means it's got dense point cloud. It's gathered all the data that it's able to, and it's got a good resolution, 1 millimeter spaced points all captured. Let me get the back of the arm here. Capture your back.
I would say, think something I noticed, if you're gonna do this and you're gonna do it in person, seizure warning. There's a lot of flashing lights. So if you're prone to that kind of thing, definitely don't do this, or be careful if you do it. Close your eyes maybe.
An interesting point on that as well is that the infrared, the flashing light is the visible light, and that's a white light that's flashing in order to evenly light the color. So in color mode, yeah, it can be intense. If it was just infrared, just for the geometry, then it's actually, you can't see it at all. So that's kind of a nice feature.
Oh, nice.
So for medical customers, we have a lot of medical customers doing, whether it be prosthetics or even custom shaped glasses. We have a lot of dentists doing things for face structures and plastic surgeons, and they don't need color. They just need the structure. And so it works out really well for them and their patients in their practices to not have to worry about giving anybody a seizure.
Right.
Usually something you don't want to do at a doctor's office.
No.
Yeah. I like to avoid that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now I'm going to come down and get the fingers and the front. There we go. And that's excellent positioning in your hands because against your body allows them to stay perfectly still.
I have to credit that to Lindsay. She was over in the background saying, "Put your hands against yourself."
Smart. Smart woman. All right.
It's actually pretty fast. I mean, it seems like it's going real fast here.
All right, here we go.
And something else I noticed is that without seeing the screen, it seems to be, I mean, it kind of goes real time, I'm assuming, on the screen, right, from what we saw earlier. So that's kind of a cool thing to see, too, is the real-time scanning on the screen.
I'm just going to get your whole foot here. I'm actually going to come around.
So would this be, would having a turntable help this process? If you had one like someone could stand on?
Theoretically, it may, but that might actually make you move more.
Yeah, probably.
For balance. Of course, it's like, the old matrix setups. A lot of those places will scan you, and they use, 20 to 100 digital cameras.
Sure.
And that methodology works because it snaps all of the cameras at once, which is great, especially if you want to capture an action shot. But that's a much more extensive and expensive setup. Imagine 20 DSLRs.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I've seen them with Raspberry Pis.
Really?
With Pi cams. And,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating.
There's like 100, I think the guy had 100 or 150.
No way.
Raspberry Pis. And they all flashed, they all went click, and it was done. It was so cool.
Dude, that's gnarly.
Am I still standing here?
Let me get the shoes really good here.
Just making sure. I didn't want to move.
Cool. And then looks like I could get a little data here in this arm area.
And there's a lot of data right there where you're at. So.
It's all that Wisconsin data.
Yeah.
All right. A little bit behind the arm.
So are you spinning the model around to check out what needs more?
As I walk around, I'm observing and seeing what areas.
Okay.
But there we go. I can pause it. Stay where you are for a second, just in case. I'll do a quick examination.
Riveting. Also, if you watch my channel for long, you notice this is probably the longest I've ever sat still, ever.
All right.
Or stood still. I guess that'd be stood still.
Yeah. Okay, so we're doing pretty good. One little thing I'm going to try and see if I can touch up is the forehead. This is going to be challenging because it might double up your face. So, I mean, it's sketchy, but it might work. Oh God, this is either going to ruin the whole thing, or what do you think? It's just a small thing in the head. It'll fill itself in. Let's just not.
All right.
All right. Yeah, let's take the safe route.
Yeah.
Okay, so now stay still as long as you can, because now I'm just messing with you.
Oh, come on. So I just got done being scanned, and it looks like I'm mostly green and a little bit of red in my hair. Like you said, hair's kind of tough. But now what do? We actually get to mesh this?
So yeah, we can examine our data, make sure we got all the critical areas that we need. Cool, looks pretty good, pretty complete. And we can actually check out the texture too.
What?
So
it is full color.
Full color. There
That's
you are.
cool.
All the details. Now this isn't even as good as it's gonna look. This is still the point cloud we're looking at. As
oh
you can
wow!
see, we zoom in. These are all individual
points that it scanned.
Points. And so once we go and actually mesh this, the quality is going to improve dramatically. But as you can see, I mean,
looks
dude,
pretty cool.
We even got your tattoos.
Yeah.
Let's see, we got this one on the arm over there.
Yeah.
Freaking cool, man.
That is awesome.
Freaking awesome.
That's really cool. And it didn't take that long. I mean, it was actually pretty dang quick. Yeah.
So all I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to create a cutting plane by your feet. And we could, you know, if we're going to 3D print you, we can give you a little pedestal or something like that.
Sure.
But we're going to get rid of the floor. So I'm just going to select 2 areas of the floor in the cutting plane mode. And then I'm going to create a plane based on that. Maybe I'll drag this area up a little bit and apply.
Cool. So that'll just kind of flatten.
Right, so that'll get rid of everything
so if
that plane.
if I print myself, I might probably be able to stand up then.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And then the next part would just be any other little stragglers of data.
Sure.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to select part of you and then say connected domain so that it selects everything that's touching the main scan, and then it's going to invert that and delete everything that's not touching the main scan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And that was pretty quick.
So as you can see, like here we got a little bit of extra data, etc. Couldn't necessarily scan up into there.
Whoa! Hey,
how far do we want to go with the jokes on this? It's like that would be impossible, actually. No.
So we're basically anything that was scanned that is like outlying. Maybe there's like floaters or something, or maybe I moved a little. He's actually going to clean that up right now, and it's as simple as a couple clicks.
So all you got to do is hit Shift, select part of you, hit connected domain, and now it's going to go figure out what's all connected.
Okay.
We'll double check that. All right, so we're looking pretty
and
good
then
here.
It'll show us anything that is straggling, like the leg down there.
Yeah, and you can see all these little areas, and then I can just hit invert selection, delete, and now it's clean.
Awesome.
It's cleaned up.
So it cleaned everything up, and it was just a couple clicks. So that's you know, I've been like, I don't know a lot. I haven't done much 3D scanning. I've none for myself really, and a lot of it's just that I'm nervous or I don't know how to do it. So learning something new, not knowing how to do it, having to learn new software, that kind of thing. But really, it looks like it's actually not too bad once you know how to do it.
They've done a great job streamlining it and making it just intuitive. You go one to the next, to the next, to the next. And if you buy it from us, you've got us at a call away.
Yeah,
so we're here to help you.
That's the best part.
And we've got hundreds of videos on YouTube walking through the entire process.
Sure. And that's important because someone that's never done it like me probably goes to YouTube first
and
says like, how do I do this? So now. So we have a model.
So we have a model. It's still in that. We cleaned it up. Now we're just going to hit the optimize and generate point clouds, and that's going to go through. And the algorithms are going to basically look at all these points that were gathered.
Sure.
And then, well, maybe these ones it's got triple points in this area. You know, not enough in that area. It's going to even everything out.
Okay.
Make it more efficient.
Cool.
And that'll just take a few minutes.
And this obviously could take time depending on what kind of computer you have and all that stuff. What do you recommend? Like, if I'm going to do this, what's a decent setup? Like, do I need like something that's really crazy money-wise, or?
You really don't. Like, if somebody's buying a scanner and they're like, I need a new computer, what should I buy? I tell them, buy any gaming laptop that's, you know, within the last 2 years.
Okay.
Any gaming laptop in the last 2 years, as long as it has an NVIDIA graphics card that's Shining 3D built on the CUDA core.
Oh, they did. Okay, that's good to know.
Right. So as long as it's got that, and then what you want to really focus on is the best processor you can get is going to just make it process faster.
Sure.
The graphics card does not matter that much until you get to the meshing, and then again, it's the better it is, the faster it'll process.
Right. And NVIDIA, if you can, with this scanner.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. NVIDIA, you have to. It won't run on anything but NVIDIA. And then the one thing where you do want to upgrade as much as possible is RAM, because all that data, I mean, we'll look at the points and see how many millions of points we just gathered, and that's really the bottleneck. If you know, at a certain point, it'll hose down the system, you're out of RAM, you can't do anything, and you gotta, So that's really the one thing, but I've got a gaming laptop with 8 gigs of RAM, and it still runs it. This machine has like 96 gigs of RAM, and it runs it even better.
Nice. So, a little faster, probably.
A little bit faster,
yeah. Well, I mean, we're looking, and we've been talking for a couple minutes, but it's already almost done. We're 91%. So what's the next step? So we did this part. What goes next?
From here, it's going to give us a fully textured mesh STL, and we'll be able to smooth it if we want, or there's some post-processing tools and options that we have, and then we can just save it as a STL, 3MF, OBJ. Actually, with color, it's going to be an OBJ. So you get the OBJ MTL and the JPEG file.
Sure.
And that's it. Yeah, literally.
And that's it. And then so I'm a business. I just scanned my dashboard.
Yeah.
I popped it in here in 10 minutes. I could have a scan, depending on how big the scan is, right? I get 10 to 15 minutes, you could have a full scan.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm doing a gauge cluster or a dash, a custom dash, or a replacement dash for something that's not made anymore. That's pretty cool.
And no micrometers, no tape measures, no rulers. You didn't have to do all this stuff with paper and try and guess and check. That's the biggest thing, is these are time savers.
I didn't have to learn Fusion 360 or something like that.
Right. Well, and most of our customers are taking it, like they'll scan the inside of a bumper for a Bronco, so they can make the mounting points for a new light bar or a winch or something like that. They'll modify something. So most of the time it's reverse engineering or just using it as a template to build something off of.
Got it.
Whether it's a car or a plane or a person or whatever.
That's super smart. And I know somebody with a plane, and he's redoing his planes. So I think we're gonna have to dive into this. Let's make some plane parts.
Yeah, that'll come in handy on the new printer that we're gonna be using together.
What?
Yeah.
New printer? Stay tuned for that video.
Probably already.
Oh yeah, that video's probably already out. So you probably already know about that one.
Yeah.
But that new printer would be perfect for plane parts.
If you don't, check out the 22 IDEX.
Yeah, right here. I'll put it somewhere in this area, wherever this area is. If I remember, I'll put a tag there. Otherwise, at the end of the video, I'll make sure it's there too.
Yes. Oh yeah. It's upper left.
Yep. Somewhere this way.
On YouTube.
Yep. So we're at 98% right now. I think what we'll do is we'll give it a couple more minutes. We'll come right back and we'll show you what it looks like. And we're back. It literally finished as soon as we stopped recording. It was like we shut the camera off and it was done. So we're back. So we have a finished model. We have a mesh. And what do we do now? Let's check it out.
So we can examine it and check it out. Now it does look like we missed a little bit of data back here.
So a little holy.
Spend a little more time on that area. You've got a lot of text down here. Now this is still the point cloud, but it's optimized. So we've got all these textures, and what I'm going to do next is actually a lot of this texture data is still going to be in there. So I'm going to go down here, and I'm going to say Mesh Model, and then we can go Filter, Low, Smoothing, Low or Medium. I'll just do Low. And
the smooth out the midsection.
A little bit, So there's an abs option on
there's
the
an abs option
version of the software.
That's not true. But it would be awesome if it was. 30-second abs.
And we'll do quality high.
Cool.
And we'll make it watertight, so you can throw this straight onto a 3D printer.
Okay, so you always need to make it watertight.
If you want to
3D
print a mesh, generally slicers will give you an error if it has holes or it's not a solid body.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
cool.
Exactly. So we'll go ahead and hit apply,
Yep.
and then wait for this to do its thing.
It's pretty fast.
And then we're probably not going to hit it today, but earlier we were using the laser scanners.
Let's talk about that while this is meshing.
Yeah, perfect. So these are professional grade. Yes.
Whoa.
So that's a $35,000 scanner.
That's not how it works. Okay. I thought we were just at Galaxy's Edge.
Hold it sideways.
Yeah. Right. I was just at Galaxy's Edge, Star Wars,
dude,
and as soon as I picked this up, I was like, "Wow, that's what I feel like."
It completely reminded me of Star Wars when I picked it up.
We just took that way off track, but that's okay. We brought it back.
Yeah. So these two scanners are in the free scan line, and they're metrology grade, which means they scan with an accuracy of 20 microns or greater. And that means you can use it in manufacturing for inspection of parts.
Oh, okay.
So if you've got parts coming off an assembly line, et cetera, off a CNC, et cetera, you can literally have the scanner, you can even have it automated on an arm with a turntable, put the part there, scan it, just keep chunking out
And this
scans.
can do quality control.
Exactly.
Oh, that's super cool.
And so then you know your parts are within spec. And this one has the lasers. It's got 98 laser lines, or you can use the mode of 26 or 7 or single laser lines for getting down deep holes. And it's also got a photogrammetry mode. So this one,
that's cool.
It's really specifically, the photogrammetry is not traditional photogrammetry. It has these things called scale bars, which you can put around on a large object every 6 feet or so, and it knows the exact size of those bars.
Wow.
So what this enables is doing a very large scan with perfect, near perfect dimensional accuracy, or volumetric accuracy. So what happens with this one, if you scan 6 feet out and then you go 10 feet out, 20 feet out, it's going to exponentially be less accurate.
Okay.
So with this one, you'll scan in like 3 to 6 foot sections and then align those together, which is very easy and works well.
Sure.
Now the advantage to this one is obviously it's much smaller.
Yeah.
So you can fit it in tighter areas like a wheel well or an engine bay.
Oh, good.
And that's actually been very, very handy. But it also has the infrared mode, which allows you to scan stuff without markers.
Sure.
With lasers, you have to use markers.
Okay.
Except on this one, because it's got a 98 laser line mode that creates a pattern with the lasers, and it can actually read that, so it scans without any markers.
That's awesome.
But this one, you have the lasers or infrared, which is incredibly quick. It's very similar to the tech that we just scanned you with on the H2. And so this, for the price and everything else, I think personally this is the best bang for the buck scanner for most businesses.
For most businesses, okay.
And it's my
because they're
personal
probably
favorite.
not scanning giant buildings in most businesses.
Most places don't need to scan an entire boat or an entire airplane. You know,
they're just going for the parts of
that's
the object.
right. And
That's
if
cool.
they do, they'll scan it in 5 sections and align those.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But this is for the guys. You know, we sold a couple of foundries with giant pieces of metal.
Sure.
Or you know, what was the last guy?
Excavator tubes.
Yeah.
Excavator tubes.
You know, this one guy was doing. They create the hydraulic lines that are aftermarket for excavators. So the hydraulic line is going all the way to the bucket that shifts. It's going all the way up and all the way down the arm. And they need those. They do them so precisely. They look OEM. They just fit perfectly onto the machinery.
Nice.
And they need to scan the whole thing at once to save time, because that dude in the field out there is getting 50 to 100 bucks an hour.
Sure.
So time's money.
Right.
So they're like,
So
give us the best.
He grabs this, he runs the scan, brings it back, replicates it, and they can make the aftermarket parts.
Precisely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So and if I remember right, the free scan has like different levels of scanner. There's something like $1,000 range. Is that this one?
Yeah. So
Or
Shining.
not this one, but yeah.
Yeah. Shining 3D makes the EinScan and FreeScan lines. So the FreeScan is more the super professional metrology grade, and the EinScan is the professional grade for reverse engineering, and then it goes all the way down to the EinStar, which is the hobby grade.
That's cool.
For under $1,000, you get a very, very capable scanner for scanning people, scanning objects. It kind of struggles with small stuff and small details. It doesn't do great, but if you're scanning, you know, a basic car, or you don't want to spend $10,000 on a HX, but you want to do this project, and you got extra time, it takes longer to scan, takes longer to process. But it's a very capable scanner at the same time.
So it's like kind of like starter, intermediate, professional in a way. That's really cool.
Like an Ender 3, you could do a lot with an Ender 3.
Yeah, it just takes longer.
It just takes longer. You got to put the effort in and do that. You know, versus you pick up a bamboo or something like that, you hit go and it works.
Right.
That's like these.
That's these.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is the, for lack of better terms, the bamboo of. Should I say bamboo? Whatever.
Yeah.
So
it's easy mode.
Yeah, easy mode. We'll call it easy mode. I like that better. Cool. So if we go back here, we're almost done meshing the data, and then when that's done, we'll have an STL.
Yep, and we'll be able to just save it out. STL, OBJ, 3MF.
So
yeah.
Let's check it out. We'll be right back. All right, so the mesh just got done, and I guess it's official. There's an STL of me. That is, it's a little bit crazy.
It's true.
It's a full color STL, and
check it out.
You can like rotate me. You can see some stuff. You can actually see the weathering on my shirt, which I think is nuts, by the way.
And you can see all that data that was missing was actually still there. It just had to process.
It needed to process it. Yeah.
Right.
Mostly my hair is there. Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Could do a little bit better on the eyeglasses there. Spend a little more time. I did one pass on
One pass on the face.
That
so
was it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's super cool, and it was very fast. I know we could refine that a little more if we wanted to, but for this video and for me having a STL of myself, I think that was a pretty cool description and demonstration here at Vision Miner. Man, they have so many cool scanners. There's so much stuff. There's turntables. There's a ton of stuff we didn't get to, but I really appreciate the stuff we did. So I think we might have to pick up one of these because my wife would love this. I mean, scanning things for making miniatures is way better than modeling everything she wants to make. So thank you again for having us out. I really appreciate it. And if you didn't check out any of the other videos I did here today at Vision Miner, maybe check this one out because that was a good one. That one right there. Also, if you have a scanner at home or you want one, let us know in the comments. What would you do with one? What do you use it for? That kind of thing. Because I'm always interested to know what you guys want to use them for and maybe what Rob should scan next.
Yeah.
He's got the big scanners. What should he do next?
We do all kinds of videos and everything. We love just hearing, what are your real world problems that you want to scan, or just fun, cool projects you want to do.
There you go. All right. We're out of here.